afraid to say that. And it's not that thing happening is the thing. It's when I become afraid to say that, it immediately becomes this huge clench. And if I say it immediately, actually, there's never a clench. And I don't even know that I actually even felt the thing that was said. It just was said. And so it's almost like it was never there as me at all in any way. Even the statement passing that was being said wasn't. Like I was just this in between line that nothing ever catch. And so it's something come directly, but for me there was never anything where I was. It just like moved through a space that wasn't. And I watched the whole transcurrence or transceiver of this energy, the currents of this energy as it moved through. Transceiver of it, transcurrence of it. I don't know the word transcurrence, so I thought it was weird. But anyway, moves through. It's just very interesting. Transference. Oh, transference. Oh, I'm funny boy. Oh, I'm not a smart man. I'm just watching something all the time. It's not really actually watching. I'm just being something all the time, and sometimes because I can watch it while I'm being it, I get messed up. If I don't watch it, transference probably would have just happened all on its own. But I was like, what comes after trans? And then currents. It's like currents. Currents doesn't make sense. Current. And current. Be here currently now. 44777. That's cool. Anyways, so this little line, we're gonna create imagery because I can see a beautiful imagery. I hope that actually this very mundane imagery is actually the best imagery for you. That would be super duper sweet, because that makes my life 1,000 times easier than it was previously. Hopefully the mudras and all that. We're getting fuller in the way that we'll express and show. I become much more confident in the hand mudras, much more confident in all these things. I was at a level of pretty much amazing confidence in this before, but not in these ways of sturdiness, you see. I may have been confident with myself, I may have been doing my practice by myself, very confident with myself, but when I got around other people, that's when I couldn't sing anymore. That's when I couldn't do it anymore. So we had this beautiful open door array. We've been growing each other in a symbiosis in a really amazing manner. Her being my student, me being her teacher, but us both being teacher and student for one another in the most amazing fashion. She being so gentle and strong and so lack of judgment. And even though she personalizes, she doesn't. She has this thing where she's like connecting the stories, but she's not. And so I see her in between already. And I can imagine that we're all this way. But now I had the perfect student to create me the perfect teacher. So I've had the perfect teacher to create me to be the perfect student. You see, it's very beautiful. And so everything is helping me soften, become more gentle and relaxed with the flow. I get all worried with people. I'm like, care about this wisdom. How dare you fight it? It's all good. I see how I'm fighting, even still, even after, even while preaching, no fighting. Well, that's why I say it, because I mean, it's a lot of fighting, possibility, a lot of defensiveness, possibility. I actually always don't fight. But there's ways that you can contract and hide and describe, and you could even do that just with your own expression. And for me, I'm actually on time in my expression in all of them. And so the way that I would maybe fight would be maybe against myself or something. I think it's not okay for me to express myself how I am in fullness. And so I would retract away. And that would be some form of protection, so that's the way I would maybe do that. Because I'm like thinking something might want to hurt me, and so I still have some realm of attack or defense in some manner. It's like, oh no, it doesn't. So as the mean man walks by, oh no, I have no reason to attack or defend with this person. And so even though they could be upset, there's nothing to bother me. Like the Buddha, you spit on his face, and he smiles. It's not confronting. There is nothing to attack or defend. Nothing negative had occurred. Nothing positive. Nothing. Anything that happened for him happened for his highest benefit. And he wasn't attacking defending, he was, must have been for his highest benefit. He has no reason to begin attacking and defending, all because of this. It's a very hard thing to do this, yeah? Come into such a place of peace for yourself. So, you don't attack and defend in any way. Of course, the Buddha is a different chord shape in the way that he was looking and the way that we depict him. I'm kind of a silly thing to where I express myself crazy all the time. I express myself. And that helps me see. Helps me see how everything actually is, how everybody actually be. And how to move myself easily with all these different things. You know, I see my brother Kai and the way that he exists. That there's another way to express yourself more harmonious. I see all kinds of things in myself and the way I am. As I speak to Ray, as I speak to this, as I speak to that. As I was telling her, I was so mad at her. She's an idiot, she's stupid, how dare her. Turn on this damn thing. Ruin my day. I don't know if I said those exact words actually in that particular moment, but it's this hurting of the innocence, you know, like, oh no, what have I just said now? Why is I so upset? What is happening? Oh, it's feeling like something is wrong. And these beautiful videos too, she's so gorgeous. You just have to eat your own throat. You know that it's perfect already, but also so is your expression. So the ignorance of your expression is also perfect. So you don't hide from any of it. And had you hid from it, you might have even become an attacker. Like crazy. Volatility could have happened physically, even, because of how insane it is to keep attention point to this realm of awareness for me. So I don't have the ability to keep attention point, you see. So I always have the honesty immediately. I always have the move through the cycle immediately. I don't have the ability to hold on to it. It can't be built inside of me like this. But I'm able to really see a lot of different things happening with all reality and with all myself. Ways to refine myself very easily. And the only problem with me would be the expression. So there's a lot of tension built up around this. And we haven't been talking for a long time, you know. So every time you come on the camera, I'm like, oh, you brought that friend to the party at A1. I don't talk to that friend the same way I talk to you. We can't have them in the same group. But I can talk to anybody the same way. So there's no reason to be talking to anybody any differently. The only reason would be because of some attack or defense. As it turns out. So it's a new learning. You see, we learn very quickly. So you get this nice new one finally. Right? Authentic from the flow. This is some months teaching this one. Takes a lot to build up the contrast, to build the words and the chord structure that would bring that kind of thing authentic. Subtle energy flows. These are deep teaching sessions. We will notice this in easy. So subtle. You really got to go in. That's what we are. We're like spiritual scientists. It's like what a bodhisattva does. You could stay in nirvana, but you don't learn no more. You got to go back to samsara. You learn more. You come back out. And you can rest back in nirvana in your place of stillness that we told you about earlier. And for anybody who wants to know, place of stillness is our natural expression of who we are. I used to describe it just going back to the breath. When all else fails, return to the breath. So when you're afraid to express yourself, you have to do that. Otherwise, you express yourself as whatever craziness you think yourself to be. If you videotape yourself while you're being utterly crazy, you may find that you're much less crazy than what you determined. You may still find that you're crazy, but less crazy, and that will show you a difference in contrast. You're like, that actually looks much different than what I expected it to be. Maybe I am not quite as dramatically, harshly awful as I thought it was previous. This video is kind of nice for that. It's been helping me a lot for that. You would say maybe no to the video, no to the YouTube. They would say that to the Facebook too, but it was one step in the expression for me. I couldn't express to your faces, mainly because you're poor listeners. Maybe it was reflective of myself, that's sure. And also reflective of how I was afraid to say that. Once I was able to say that to people, I found that wasn't the case anymore. Like all of these agitations were building up the momentum that would cause me to outwardly burst an expression possibly wrongly balanced with what was actually occurring, and see that, oh no, and that would relieve the space so finally I could express myself. And so it's very interesting how we have to express ourselves and just find that it's okay to express ourselves. And so I've finally been able to express myself again. We can talk to each other here on the video. That's very nice. I don't have to worry. I'm not worried about anything. I don't need a house. That's the fucking problem. That was the mouse. Stupid house. We let go of the stupid house, you know. You don't need a house. It's fine. Whatever. No, it's cool out here, actually. I really dig it. I really do. I don't know why I would want a house. It costs money. I like being around. I like meeting with other people. If I'm like afraid, then I'm not. I was standing outside last night. That's where this big teaching come from. I learned very quickly every moment's a realization, and into different degrees. And so, last night I was standing outside. I was like, what is the difference between this and a house? It's like, well, a house you feel safe and secure. And I was thinking also because I had this nice little pavilion. You know, and so in the pavilion it feels very nice. So I feel very at home. It's like a little house. It doesn't have walls. It's my little household. Got a table and shit. You can sit at it. Feels safe and secure, like it's your place, you know. Kind of interesting energy. It does have a cool amplitude to the sound. I like that. And no, it's a good feeling. I don't have any reason to fight against how it is a good feeling. But I'm over there now. These guys have got there before us, and so we're not going to go in there. They're all weird and slept next to us, but we're not going to go do that same thing. And maybe it's okay to do that same thing. I mean, it's what dogs do or something. I don't know. It's strange for me. I don't want to be around the energies. And then I thought about her energy. I was like, oh, am I around her energy too much? And that sparked this thing about the 993s, which sparked all these different processes of thought, which eventually sparked her turning on the video and agitating me. But this time, after expressing all the other times that I was agitated about it, this time, I was ready to express to you about it. Hey! You know, and see that, yeah, you know what? This is a perfection. And I am allowed to express about it because, yes, it is perfect. So it's funny that we have to come to this place where we feel comfortable and safe. And then we can express it. And then we're like, ah, okay. You know, for me, I always have to come to this place where I feel comfortable and safe, or otherwise I will not do it. And so I could always recognize this, that it's true for others. That they will not do it unless they feel comfortable and safe. So we provide comfortable, safe spaces, usually when we want to help people come into expression. You know? And that makes perfect sense. But we also don't value the other reasons and why we've been able to see this as well. That there was great agitations that caused us to seek that in certain ways. And also, it wasn't just that. You know, there's a fullness to the whole journey. You know, sometimes everybody not giving me what I wanted for so long, you know, caused me to have to give it to myself. It caused me to have to do it in a certain way. You know, they agitated me to express in a certain manner. And it was imbalanced, yeah. So it all depends on the route we have to learn. You know, what's easiest for us? What's quickest? What's the path of least resistance for ourselves specifically? For me, it was 27 years of self-hate. It's a lot. You know, I get nervous sometimes too, saying things in different ways. That tree we saw the other day. It's funny how all these things come back up. You'll see that everything I talk about is like rippling all over itself. Like this whole statement we're saying is like hitting itself over and over again in all the same ways. So it's building a very full, strange image. I don't know if anybody will ever stay with the entirety of it. But we do have one viewer that's been really liking our videos. And some other viewers been liking our videos too. I love you all. Any viewers that haven't been liking it, we love you too. No problem. Thank you for everything, all you do. So that's the thing, you know, we sometimes want to guard ourselves into these comfortabilities and complacencies, these safeties, securities. Eventually that'll build in uncomfortability and not safety and security will move. As I was standing in the field the other night, I was feeling that. It was like, oh, I just feel safe, I feel secure there, like I'm okay, like I'm allowed to be. And nobody's going to confront me for being. But you know, I'm allowed to be right here. I don't have to make noises or anything against anything in polarity because I feel suppressed by something. No, I'm not suppressed by anything but myself. I'm able to do whatever I wish to do. I did that the other 2 mornings. I didn't cause any dissonance. And yeah, So today I feel very good, exactly where I am. I mean, maybe we'll go somewhere tonight. I was really worried about that. That's another softening. I was worried about her from big way. Like, oh, we gotta go do this. We gotta do. Oh, I don't know what I have to do. Here I am now. If I was by myself, I wouldn't be worried about that. All they'd be doing is blooming my lotus. That's it. And I'm not by myself, but I am with myself. We're all one. And but we're blooming our lotus. It's a very beautiful, very much growing, very relaxed. Saying that can happen even with her. It can happen even with you on the video, the viewer. It can happen just everywhere, every way. We have the coffee, or marijuana, everything can stay. Nothing has to go away. Nothing has to be forced to stay. Nothing has to be grasped. Nothing has to be unattached. Nothing. Everything here right now, exactly. And I see just through accepting myself easily what it is I actually wish to do. Like, oh, actually, no, it's too much work to do that. I don't feel like doing that. Or, yeah, no, I very much feel like doing that. I have more than enough energy for it. You know, we never really know. The moment comes upon us. And sometimes it's weird, you know. It's like, well, usually I do want to do that, but this time I don't. I don't know why. And as you trust yourself, you trust your intuition, you trust your flow, you trust your moment, you trust, oh, you finally see, oh, okay. Yeah, I could have had the same experience that was really awesome, but because I had this other one, I was trusting my heart and my feeling. This was the one that was actually meant for me. It was very beautiful, very treasured. I would never have found this. Yeah, I don't really go to habitual patternings. When we do something in redundancy, it's hard for me. So it's kind of hard for me to be at this park all the time. Hard for me to be anywhere all the time, you know. I think it's kind of funny thinking about having a house because of that. You know. We've never experienced being somewhere for too long. Just one time at our trailer, but even that become tough. We went to town a few times. But it was nice there. I mean, it was only a short amount of time. I do like it. I like the way we grow. I like the Rainbow Park flow. Yeah, I don't reject any of it. You know, I don't reject the house. I don't reject it at all. We can come to stillness. I like relaxing. I like doing the videos. Is the big deal. I really like getting the message out there. I like to show what we're learning, but I also like to practice. That's the thing. We're very good on the practice now. We are really amazing. I feel much more confident, obviously. I'm confident in the way that it doesn't matter. Confident that if we make mistakes, that's no problem. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what was going on, and we'll share how to express oneself authentically, and just be transparent and impeccable with the word, and show how that heals and center balances and brings to all naturally the simplest path of freedom that we'll ever find. Because all it is you just find the time where you get to be who you are on your line. You know who you be, who you are actually, all the time, always. And you'll find that your essence is Buddha nature. That you are awakened. You are enlightened mind. You are enlightened action. You are learning, and you can be from wherever you are in your place of learning, just like me, just like her, just like everybody, masters in our own rights. You know. I've learned a ridiculous amount. I am at a point of mastery, absolutely, and as is she, as in any being who is here to realize themselves as enlightened mind, as enlightened action, as enlightened already. Mastery in this way would distinguish a particular frequency and chord shape of disciplined nature, one person or being or anything that is wishing to fully embody themselves. And impeccability, you know, is actually already always happening. So it's interesting. For ours is a much more simple training or practice of untraining in a way of just simply realizing where you already be and allowing yourself to be how you already be in full. There are ways we take away from our motion. We're quick because we're afraid. We're doing this because we're in a place of control. But as we relax into the fluidity of our motion, we'll see that we are impeccable. We are really amazing. We're on time. We're precise. We're in alignment with all that is around us. Even if we make a mistake and drop something, we'll even find an impeccability with that motion. And so everything that is happening in a really amazing, phenomenal way. Just like this person's shirt, that's the word happening that brought that to me to say. learnings on the book of life, you know. Sometimes I worry about my confidence level, like, oh, where are we going with this? Where was it going to happen? Whenever that happens too much, I just speak about it, and then it's again, the root of the tree. So this amazing tree, giant grandfather tree, and all these vines growing off of it, but it wasn't vines. And it wasn't a banyan tree. It wasn't a tree that usually did that. I mean, apparently that is a tree that usually does that, but it's not a tree that maybe a common man like myself would expect to usually do that. I didn't know trees did that, and apparently it was growing, leaning, so it grew a bunch of roots from up above on the trunk of the tree that would grow down and become big trees of their own, but were that tree still, that would sturdy the tree so that it wouldn't just collapse and break later. So it just like grew in advance. It had good planning capability. It was an amazing structure. I've never seen something. I was like, wow, how phenomenal. A huge tree. Like that tree will probably live for a very, very long time. But previously, without growing its roots like that, it would have been a broken, fallen tree by that point. Not anymore. Oh, it'll keep growing for a long time. Holy crap. How amazing. So beautiful. So that's where we got that nice sturdying teaching earlier. That was beautiful. I like that a lot. Coming into a relaxation. No more attack and defense. Then don't have to attack and defend anything within consciousness at all. Anyway. But it's all good. Everything's fine. Everybody, the perfect Buddha, always here on time. Realization and knowing helps these kinds of things. And we can find these things easily through proper timing. And we've been helping out really come into the understanding that brings good sturdiness on how to respond to our own energy, you know, ways in which we've been lashing against ourselves, you know. And also seeing that with this practice you actually cannot enter into dual focus and be of success with this practice. This practice really does take you embodying the moment truly. And so it's a very safe practice to transmit to everybody. Everybody's already capable, exactly where they are. Every one of you are the Buddha embodied. So it's very beautiful. Yes. And yeah, my foot's feeling better. We've been opening up the body through, again, relaxing more and more and allowing more and more. Bringing in the light language with the body, and then seeing how those things, again, effortlessly more and more. And so it's just allowing them to seamlessly begin in the simultaneous nature of each other at the exact same time, all of the body together. Of course, not forcing this in some way, so this is a big deal. If you were to like try to do this, it would not be the same thing. It's more just like stepping in the most relaxed fashion, accidentally, with no mind, and having that lead into the rest of the motion in a big way. And we'll show more of these types of deals as we come into greater realms of confidence and trust and surrender to the flow, that you can outreach, move forward, not do in a manner that allows you to extremely amazingly do. And that's wonderful, all about being true, honest with all of you, centering in authenticity. Quite easy, really. Coming into the fullness of expression. That was a weird one. It was like the motion started before the words. Maybe because the drinking of the coffee. Either way. I can just drink the coffee fully, being here with it. Here we are, drinking coffee. That's beautiful. And so no thought was really able to be there because we just immediately began everything. It's not too much of a fixation point. I almost stared at it for way too long. In some way, every one of those spaces was a little extra in duration than what the usual flow syllable structure would have been for that motion and action. It's quite quick usually. It can be longer too. It's longer, smaller. It's all kinds of different durations. This is why we have to accompany ourselves with the acceptance of formlessness. If we take preference of form, even for the smallest moment, we may stay there for the smallest increment of time that will stop us from being able to understand how it is to move quite easily with ourselves limitlessly. Now, there is a possibility of you moving just amazingly effortlessly in every direction without any effort or flow, just by, in a way, moving one directionally. and that would allow you to express yourself fully, limitlessly, immediately, instantaneously. Um, and then it would just be your own ability to continue it without retraction from observance. As in this way, observance isn't extremely the issue. It's just the observance when getting in the way. And so it's like if you take a hard point grab, that's another one where imagery will be maybe a little easier for us to show you. Hopefully we won't have to embody that tension point to a high degree if we show you in video showing through the motions of the body. We'll do a lot more of that as well as we come into a greater way to articulate. I've come through a lot of the fears and agitations, the wishes to protect, wishes for wondering like what's going on with that, with the transference of this wisdom, who might be receiving it, how it might be being received. There's been just a lot of formless natures brought to me through the process of this growth, so we'll be able to move it to a lot greater energy flows. And mistakes will happen, this will happen, we'll just splash the whole deal. It'll be really wonderful. And who knows, maybe we'll stop making mistakes. But the mistakes are great perfections, so you'll see that mistakes are never mistakes. So, in some manner as well, we've never made one, neither of you, nothing has. Here we go, free of judgment, perfect as all ever. I like that. We're moving a little fast, moving a little slow, moving this way, moving that way. Acceleration, growth. Acceleration was cool. There was something that popped up about acceleration earlier. I'm just checking to see if anything needs to happen with that.